everybody, last game of the tournament in Lausanne. I'm facing club teammate Samo. We didn't play since a couple of times, so it's nice to face him again. And he won the competition for best painted giant, so it was nice to face these amazing giant models since it was the thematic of this tournament. My list, you have it, so you can just pause if you want to have a look at it again. And this is my opponent's list. So basically he has 3 big monsters on the table, 1 dragon and 2 giants. Then he has a master cosmology and an adept divination, but no BSB. So big risk here in the list. 26 militants with a flaming standard, 2-time auxiliaries, 10 raiding party, mostly as chaff, 20 obsidian guard to at least have some panic reroll, 5 RPs as chaff, and 2 times of black cloaks, which are pretty good in this tournament since there are a lot of monsters and giant and stuff because of the rules pack. We played Marching Column and Breakthrough, and I picked the spell 1, 2, 5, 6 and Rod of Battle. So we have Break the Spirit, Totemic Summon, Awakened Beast, Swarm of Insects, and then obviously I have Chilling from the Frost Mammoth and Rod of Battle. And here you have my opponent's spell. I forgot at the beginning of the game that he has this 2 bounce spell with the giant. He gets 2 times Twisted Effigy, which is quite good, especially if you play like him a list with 3 monsters. To have 2 access, 2 instance of no shoot is really nice, I must say. Matchup analysis. So I know for a fact that militants and obsidian guard are 2 blocks that can be dangerous for my bruiser. I need to be careful, especially if they charge me. If I get the charge, and especially if I did a couple of casualties before, I have some good chances. This is true for bruisers, but also for mercenaries, because agility step is different if I charge and if I don't. Even with the frost, it can go before me with obsidian guard. So I need to be careful about that, the matchups with the blocks. No BSB, meaning I will try to trigger as much leadership tests as I can and use also frenzy against him. A big block of militants with no BSB can be a huge risk and hard to control sometimes, so I will try to punish him with that. Obviously my mercenaries shots have a lot of targets in this game, but especially I will try to use them for monsters, which is the downside will be that I will have trouble to deal with infantry, and you know how it is. If I have to fight Obsidian Guard and militants, considering the fact that he has quite a lot of chaff in his list, it might be difficult if all my shots are focused against the monster. So I need to, since it's Breakthrough, I need to find a way to face a part of the army but not the whole army. I think that's the key here, and obviously his Breakthrough could be hard to stop if I want to avoid some matchups against his scoring unit, especially Obsidian Guard and militants. Main plan to win secondary will be to use Totemic Summon, Keen Eater, Yetis, Giant to try to target auxiliaries, maybe break them, make them panic, turn check and so on. Try to scare them and avoid that they can break through easily. I rate it as a close game, a drawish, around 10. Yeah, that's how I expected it to be, especially on Breakthrough. Deployment. So I won the roll for side. This is a map, I think from the map pack B. Not my favorite, to be honest. So we have 2 impassable on the right, 2 hill, 2 wall, 2 forest, and 2 fields. So pretty much similar. I just consider the bottom being slightly better since the impassable is really to the side. So I pick bottom, and my opponent start to deploy from the left and drop everything for first turn. So he put auxiliaries. I put 2 Yetis to see a little bit what he was going to do. Then he put Obsidian Guard, so I knew already that he was going to deploy strong on the left with his infantry block and most likely the monster on the right. So auxiliaries, Obsidian Guard, then auxiliaries, and I drop Yetis, a Bruiser, and the Saber-tooth Tiger, and then he dropped everything for first turn. So you have Harpies in the back, the Chaff unit, Militant with both character, which surprised me a little bit because if they fail 1 frenzy, both character could be at risk. Giant, Dragon, and the 2 Shades scouting forward. So my counter deployment, I decided to, like I analyze in the matchup analysis, I saw an opportunity here to avoid a part of the army, especially here a couple of shots and also fighting units, so 3 blocks that could have really take a really long time to go through the map to reach my main block if I drop on the right. And also I could use Impassable, so I knew that this part of the board could be very nice for me. So I decided to drop heavily on the right. I put a cannon here, Saber-tooth Tiger, my bruiser block with the mage, BSB, General, Mercenaries, a unit of Tribesmen, Frosty, and Giant. So couple of things to explain. First of all, Giant is here, yeah, to block the left part of the board because he had Scout. I didn't want him too near to my unit, especially not close to the Mercenaries because he might cripple them too much, and they are key. I don't expect Giant to survive very long, but if I can get a couple of third check, maybe some combat, or slow him down with some march check, that would be nice. And then I expect Frosty to play a similar role, mainly to be annoying, cause some third check and stuff, to slow him down, more or less. And then right part of the board, I debated a little bit if I need to drop my tribesmen on the right here to secure a breakthrough with 1, 2, 3 units more easily, or if I want to open slightly more the game by causing some frenzy check. Considering the fact that militants have both character in it, it's like a 1500 points unit. So I analyzed that if I'm able to throw that unit in front, it's a 9 maximize, no reroll, and then I could potentially with my 2 blocks take advantage of that and go into combat. So I thought that might be an opportunity, a more risky one, but that might be a good way to open the game, because if I drop to the right, basically he would have no big trouble to break through with his blocks. And then maybe I kill a monster or 2 with my range, he kills some stuff with his range, and it's drawish. So I thought here that might be an opportunity maybe to put a little bit in danger my breakthrough possibilities, but at the same time a good opportunity to get a good amount of points, and then to be able to get a bigger win, because at this point of time it's a solo tournament, 3 games. I had 2 wins, but not big wins. I knew, for example, somebody in the tournament had double 20, so I knew I needed some points, so I decided to go that way and try that out. His turn 1, so basically he uses a good spot to put his giant here to threaten my cannon for turn 2, move forward also with this giant and hide the dragon. Militants move a little bit sideways, and then you have harpies in the back, chaff moving, and the rest to the left moving forward, all the shooters going in range to shoot at my poor giant. That was expected. So I hope I can survive, because then I could cause some panic. I'm seeing here there is more than 6, here nothing, so I think they have leadership 8, maybe 9, don't know, but that would be a non-rerollable test here and here possibly, so that could be interesting for me, considering some flee pass and stuff. So we'll see. He gets 2d6, he gets hereditary off, I let that go. 2d6 strength 4 against my Frosty, making me reroll the armor save. I considered that not to being too dangerous, but still he was able to get 2 wounds through my Frosty. And then with shooting he got 5 wounds against my giant, which is kind of expected. My turn 1, giant charge to the left, he passes third check. So I go in contact, did nothing with the stand and shoot, which is nice. I moved the cannon to the side because he was able to see me, now he couldn't. I'm still within short range, so it will be a 4-up to cause wounds against this giant. Unit on the right, just back off. This guy is in ambush, obviously. The bruiser block, move forward, try to put pressure on him, force him to move with giant. And then mercenaries move within the forest to get no cover and get some shots. My Saber-tooth Tiger following, this unit getting in place, and I already back off with the Frosty because I measure where he is and I want to avoid some turn 2 shooting against him, and want to keep him as long as I can because I need him potentially to buff with the the debuff of agility against the opponent could be very useful in this game. In the magic phase, in Binding Scroll, my Totemic Summon, I got like +1 toughness on mercenaries, didn't do much, and Swarm of Insects did 1 wound to a giant. With the cannon I did 3 wounds to this giant, I think 3 or 4. He has not a lot of wounds remaining, so I was really happy about this nice cannon shot on 4+, and then with some shots I killed 4 militants. His turn 2, so yeah, he has 2 wounds remaining on this giant. So he push forward with this giant, passes march check, push forward to threaten my backline. The second one does pretty much the same. Dragons come out. So here he goes, brings out 3 monsters, try to threaten my backline, and still being quite far away with dragon, I made sure that he couldn't not escape the line of sight with the dragon. I knew that was possible with the giant. Didn't really considered it being a big problem, and I wanted to have a look forward at what the militant do. Basically, they didn't do much. The unit on the left push forward. Yeah, here in combat, I kill like 3 with impacted, I guess, and then he strikes, and with 2 guys, he did the 2 remaining wounds and killed me. So yeah, fortunately, I think he failed the fear check even, but got some poison and killed me. So no problem. The rest just move forward, and that's it. In the magic phase, he got a Fate Judgment, which did 3 wounds against mercenaries. Despite magical resistance and my armor save, he was able to get a couple of wounds. My turn 2, I took 2 charges here on the left, took the Yetis and the Bruiser, and here I consider the fact that I might be better just taking Swarm of Insect and Cannon to deal with the second giant. And basically, if he charges me, I have some flee possibilities, or I can stay and then countercharge him. I should be able with this setup to get both giant. So I was quite happy, even if I need to trade with some of my unit. I think that was okay. Mercenaries didn't move much, just ready to shoot, and I decided to bring that unit forward to frenzy bait him since the Keen Eater come on the board. So the idea being the following: Keen Eater might trouble him to march and chaff me, meaning if he fail and then overrun or need to catch me or even stops here, I could get some very nice charge with my mercenaries block. So I consider that being quite okay, and even if he managed to chaff me, I can charge him again with the Keen Eater just to block him, pin him down. And I even have another chaff piece here ready to chaff. So I was feeling quite okay, and feeling that it was the time, since he was still far away with most of his unit, to basically frenzy bait him. So we'll see if he can pass the 9 maximize check. Magic phase, he used the second binding scroll to bind my totemic summon. I got luckily Swarm of Insect off with less dice than him and killed the giant, which is really, really fortunate for me. And then with shooting, I did 3 wounds to the giant, to the dragon with my cannon. So again, quite fortunate with my range damage early on. And also got, I forgot this turn that he had no shoot, so he got, Twisted Effigy against this unit, which was, a bit annoying because I wanted to shoot again at militant, so it's, a bit annoying. I had also some plan to maybe turn around, try to get some shots, but with no shoot, I had no opportunities to do that. But I completely forgot that he had this spell as a bounce spell on the giant. But now the giant are not here anymore, so I should be fine, because close combat, I also got like +1 strength and break the spirit. I really got a crazy magic phase. And with +1 strength on the Yetis, basically I did a lot of casualties, and then the Bruiser just finish off the giant. So I just break him. I think he had 2-3 wounds remaining, and I break him. He didn't pass the steadfast on 8, and I just pursue with the Yetis, who are swift ride. They get him, and the second unit just reform. So 2 giants are dead. Very nice. I'm pretty much in control on the right side because the dragon has only 3 wounds remaining, so I should be fine. His turn 3, he back off with the giant, turn around, which surprised me a little bit. So he passed the frenzy check, which is huge, and then turns around the block to face my Keen Eater. He charged with what I consider a chaff piece, the flank of my tribesman. The rest pushes forward. In the magic phase, he got... I used Binding Scroll on Fate Judgment because I really want the Keen Eater to survive his magic phase, to continue to be annoying for him. But he got +1 strength on the close combat here, and also got an hereditary, and in close combat it just wiped me off the board. I was really surprised because I thought, oh, that's a chaff piece, but never forget that they have +1 to wound, and now with +1 strength, +1 to hit or something. It was really crazy, and it just wiped me off the board. I didn't have the chance to even attack, and it just overrun somewhere here. Just to be annoying and make sure that if I charge him, he has some line of sights and stuff to annoy me. So my turn 3, I decide not to charge, and I'm getting ready to move again in the right direction and set up a new battle line, since the dragon is not anymore a big threat, since I still have a cannon and some other shots if he comes out the board or out of his hiding spot. I should be fine, so I decide to turn around and face his battle line. I failed the march check, but just move here to be annoying for them, and I move my Yetis forward to threaten them as well, and threaten also the chaff. I had no good possibility to charge this unit without being in trouble or chargeable by this unit, and I was still quite far away with my chaff, so I considered waiting a bit more because I thought that might be a bit annoying for me. The only unit that could have charged would have been the mercenaries, would have been in the front of the bruiser, so yeah, very annoying spot. So I decided just to move in position, put the BSB here to have some shots at the gargoyle, maybe force a panic check. 4 shots always on a 4+, might be enough to just make a panic check, and then if they fail, I clean the chaff and just reposition and back with them to be out of charge range. In my magic phase, I get Swarm of Insects and kill a couple of auxiliaries, and I also got Chilling to turn them off a little bit because they are starting to get annoying. As you can see, they already start to, with the shots, to do casualties last round against the mercenaries, and yeah, I only have 4 out of 6 left now, and it's only turn 3. And yeah, no combat this turn, so let's move on. His turn 4 uses this unit to chaff me, continue to push forward as well with the shades, and then I turn around again this unit to face me, gave a flank to that unit. I think he failed the march check, just moved to the sides, and so he double chaffed me, which is very annoying, but I found no good way to deal with that. In the magic phase, let me see, he got not a lot. I think he, with a Fate Judgment, did 2 wounds to the Yetis, but I was within BSB range, so I was okay with that. So yeah, 2 wounds on my Yetis, and that's it. And shooting continued to cripple a little bit my mercenaries, but it didn't do much because of Chilling. That helped a lot. My turn 4, so I decided to take a couple of charges because, as you can see, I'm not in a good spot. He's close to breakthrough with a lot of units. My scoring are quite far away. It's already turn 4, so I need to do things. So I wanted to be a little bit creative, so I charge with the Frosty. Again, these 2 guys, they fail terror and go towards the end of the board. Then I pass the redirect check, which was rollable, and charge against second unit, which pass the non-rollable panic check. So I went into contact, and with 5 guys standing shooting, he did 3 wounds to the Frosty, which is a bit unfortunate. Then I took Gracious to charge out the auxiliaries, since I could chaff the Obsidian Guard. I just repositioned them to face the chaff unit, and I decided to take the Death Star out of the chaff, reposition the BSB within the unit, and just move forwards towards the militants, since I was able to block them. So I didn't want to stay so far away from militant. I wanted to get as close as possible. That's why I decided to go a little bit around. I charge him in the flank, and I move forward with my cannon and scoring unit, and also the Yetis to be a threat. So that's a little bit the idea. I should have cleaned this chaff because this could continue to be annoying against me. Obviously, they couldn't charge since Gracious decided to go out. Was that the right decision? I don't know. I also could have charged with the whole unit against this block, but then I'm a little bit trapped. I still think that the to go out was the right decision, but maybe this unit should have charged that one. Anyway, in the magic phase, I got, I think, some buffs off in this combat, and then close combat. So Gracious got challenge out. He passes his steadfast on a 8, I guess. And then this combat, I win by 2. I have a charge, a flank, couple of wounds. He did 2 wounds to me. I win by 2, and he failed his non-rerollable break test. Flees not far, like 5 or 6, and I roll 1 below. So I don't catch him, which is a bit unfortunate. He passes the panic check with them and continue to flee this direction, go over there. His turn 5, he rallied these guys, non-rerollable test, and then moves them in the front to chaff me. Just make sure that if I charge him, it's a pretty long overrun. That's the idea. What else? Yeah, turns dragon to make sure that if I charge overrun, he gets counter charge, meaning can be a bit annoying. Gracious, yes, in combat. Here he charges chaff and moves the gargoyle that passed. I think they didn't pass the march check, and he wasn't able to chaff me properly. That's why he used that unit to chaff me. In the magic phase, what did he do? Yeah, here I was a bit scared for the next turn. If I charge here, he repositioned the general, meaning if I charge here, he could just block me. And here, depending on the overrun, I was scared that he could charge me, and then it's very dangerous combat for the bruisers because they go after. And militant might just do a lot in combination with dragon that might breath and stuff. It could get a bit scary for me to go in an overrun because if I fail, I'm in big trouble. So with his magic phase, he failed judgment, failed to d6, but got +1 strength on that unit. And close combat, I did almost a perfect break them, just reform, he killed me, and that's my turn 5. So I decide to charge with mercenaries against the chaff piece, thinking I can overrun here and then see what he does. I use the Kiniter to chaff him, fail the mark check, but then move around to, just to chaff him in the front. The Yetis decided to charge them, they fled just to take care of them and make sure I cannot chaff my Graces. The 3 remaining guys are fleeing, so Graces just move out of arc of the Obsidian Guard. And here, I was a bit trapped with them, I couldn't really escape, so I thought to break through in 2 turns, the only way would be to overrun or to go as fast as I can from them. They are looking at me, it's an easy charge, so I need to overrun, and then we'll see what he does. But I was feeling confident that even if I overrun here, and he decided to charge with some stuff, I could then counter-charge with Cannon, Death Star, Bruiser, Great Can. Should be enough to deal with whatever comes close to me. These guys go in the breakthrough zone. In the magic phase, I got Swarm of Insect off against Dragon, but did nothing. Shooting from the BSB did 1 wound to the Dragon. And close combat, I deal with the chaff. He's turn 6, so I overrun here with mercenaries and come close to the Kiniter. He charged me a middle charge like a 7 with the Dragon on the flank on mercenaries. I passed my chariot check. I couldn't really flee because I would have ended up here and then he could just make me flee again. Or just let me flee here but then be too far from the breakthrough, which is still annoying. And then he could even redirect and do stuff. So I decided to hold that one. Then he charged with the general against my Kiniter, thinking he can overrun against the mercenaries. I thought that might be okay. He has 2 wounds left on him. The general can break through me, but maybe not. It's not sure he can finish me off. And then even if he finishes, he needs to get the overrun. And then if he gets the overrun, I still get some poison attack to maybe kill the dragon or cripple him. And even if I break, if he kills me completely, then I can charge with the Death Star and get some points and break through. And if he kills me, if he makes me break, I have a good chance with the Death Star to take him down. So I was feeling okay because, maybe let me tell you what happened in combat. So and he passed the frenzy, which was huge because with the frenzy pass, he wasn't forced to charge with the whole block, but could just charge out with the general, which is kind of huge. He got +1 strength on the general. And then what happened? So he killed the Kiniter with general, thanks to the buff, overrun against my guy, kill everything except 2 wounds from the mercenaries, break me, make me flee this direction, so the dragon impact my Death Star. Okay? So that would have been the situation. Then what I would have done is challenge with my mage, who has parry and shamanism. So I was feeling okay that I would take, he already used the breath, so I would maybe take 1-2 wound, but I still have static res from 2 banner, 3 standard, so I would win most likely by 2-3, something like that. So I was feeling confident that I would be able to most likely break him, and then just pursue in the breakthrough zone, get 2, he has 2, and be okay. Problem is, I failed my non-rerollable on Death Star because of the mercenaries breaking from combat. And then I flee this direction, and on my turn, I failed to rally, go off the table. So how to lose like 2,000 points. But I think that happens. One time every 2-3 years you will fail such a test, so can happen. Anyway, I charge with my general against the flank of his general because I have nothing to lose anymore. Expecting to do okay here. I have like 6 attack on a 3+2+. He has only a 2-up armor save, so I should be fine. Plus impact, plus stomp, and then he has like 6 attack. Even with +1 strength, I should be fine to survive that. Thanks to the 4+ ward save and toughness 5, should be okay. He has 2 units in my breakthrough. I have only 1. Nothing I can do against the militants, so I just turn around the cannon to shoot at the dragon on a 3+2+. Shooting, I kill the dragon, nice, close combat, he kills me before I go, so that's unfortunate, but that's the end of the game. So a bitter end to this game, get a heavy loss, which wasn't, I didn't foresee that happening at all, but I mean, that happened. Post-game analysis. So I think overall with my deployment, I was pretty happy about being able to allow to face what I want. I got all the range damage in the world to face these 3 monsters. I was able to deal with them quickly thanks to nice range damage output, especially from cannon and swarm of insects, so I was quite happy. Then the second dart placement at the deployment is debatable. Obviously, safe choice would have been right side. Triggering some non-rollable frenzy, I still think that was a good way to try to open up the game, but it cascaded in being a way for him to send the chaff forward, so yeah, that was somehow a bit annoying. Turn 2 frenzy check could have changed a lot because it would have opened up the game. Basically, if he failed that frenzy check on the 9 maximize, then it's just in the middle of the board and I have some charge opportunities, and then if he passed the mark check to chaff me, I can chaff him in return, and then after I'm pretty sure to get sooner or later a charge against the militant, which is something nice. Turn 3, but most likely turn 4, I should have charged a light troop with my Death Star. I think turn 4 would have been the right time because there was no big threat for the Death Star to be charged at this point, and didn't slow me down too much. I wanted to be close to the militant, but that wasn't a right decision because he still was able to chaff me with the same unit after, so I should have just get rid of the chaff when I had the occasion, and that was a big mistake. Kinita was very close to win me the game. I think it's just a question of dice, but I broke him. I had the chance of running him down, didn't manage to get the roll, unfortunately, but that happens. But I was really close to get his Death Star, so to say, his big unit with both character in it, and then he got mine turn 5 to punish my mistake. Suboptimal choice from the mercenaries, I will show you after the picture, but I think I had a point of time turn 4, when I charge out with Greases, I had the possibility to just say to my mercenaries, Swift reform to the right, move 6, behind the Death Star, and then 2 turn, go for the breakthrough easily. That was way too risky to try to find a way. I made bad decision on this turn 4. Mercenaries on breakthrough, just a general thought that I had during this game. Their mission is often, again, in this type of matchup, where there are more units in the opposite list, then I need to close the map somehow, and it's often a mission that is well suited to the mercenaries. And in this case, since their mission was to close the left more or less, it's kind of hard to close a part of the map being defensive somehow and then break through at the same time. So I should have planned ahead a bit better. No BSB for Dread Elves put him in danger, I think, from the beginning to the end. He had a lot of very important non-rerollable leadership. Luckily for him, he passed most of them, including some third check early on. What did we have? Some Mar check. We had obviously the break test that he failed, but then he passed the rally check, non-rerollable as well, and then 2 or 3 frenzy check, at least two important frenzy check maximize that he was able to pass. A couple of tests that could have decided the game either way. I knew that was going to be the way. I think I made the most of triggering as much test as I could, and that didn't work bad. I traded my 2 monsters for the Shade, but I knew that the Shade were very problematic. Black Cloaks were very problematic in this matchup, so that wasn't a big surprise. But I knew that was also going to be a deciding factor in this matchup, the way that, if he was going to be successful with his leadership check or not. So, just to show you again the situation, what I could have done turn 4. Charge with the Death Star here, turn around mercenaries, go 6 here. I end up most likely here, and then I can either do 12-12 or 12-12. I have a lot of ways. Even if I do 1 time 12 and then he comes in front with the dragon, I can move 6 around. I have a lot of ways to break through easily with 3 units. So I think here I made bad decision. I think overall it was a bit risky, but right choice to charge out with Gracious to get rid of the third scoring unit that was able to break through, then use the chaff. So that was totally okay, I think. Then the main problem for me was what I did with my mercenaries. I should have gone around. Obviously, it's a bit risky with Gracious because if I don't break him into turn, which could have happened, Then I'm at risk to get blocked and countercharged by the Obsidian Guard, which is a risk, obviously. But I think I needed to do something to avoid him getting the breakthrough easily. So I don't have a lot of ton of other options, but I think overall some regrets here, not getting rid of this chaff and not being smarter with mercenaries. I had a couple of better options to do during this game. So yeah, a bit disappointing by my micro choice, I could say. Overall game plan was decent, but then yeah, I got punished by the dice at the end. That can happen sometimes. You throw some dice, you throw a lot of dice during games, and sometimes you have a bit less luck. That can happen. I mean, it's a small tournament, so it's not the end of the world, but a bit annoying because I felt that from the turn 3-4 on, I had at this moment of the game, I had everything set up to win the game comfortably, so I should have managed better after that. Made some suboptimal decision, and then it cost me a lot at the end. But yeah, that's how it is. Thanks a lot guys for watching, and talk to you soon in the tournament conclusion video that I usually do for this tournament. Bye.